issue that we are supposed to speak about today, the social economy. The latest part is that this is actually a shared issue on the EU level between DG Employment and DG Growth. So it's both employment inclusion, but it's also growth, entrepreneurship, innovation. But now there are other things that are in the core of innovation and entrepreneurship. But we are still working with that. I will share you my presentation. Hopefully this will work. We haven't tried that before. Do you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's in presentation mode. Yeah, that's good. I see you knocking. I was asked to talk a little bit about EU Social Economy Action Plan, as well as the Council recommendations, because I also were asked to speak a little bit about what we are doing in Sweden concerning the Social Economy Action Plan. I just want to start with saying that social economy as a concept is not a new thing. Many of the countries around Europe have actually started to thinking about the council about social economy now the last year, because we have the council recommendations in November 2023. But the concept were actually already occurred in France, in Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Spain already in 1880. So this was at the same time as the cooperative movement grew. We also started to talk about another kind of economy, a social economy. And in 1970, in France, they actually had their first minister, and they started to support the development. But on the EU level, we tried at that time also to promote it in the 1990s. We tried to promote to get this as a policy area, as a competence, an EU competence, which were voted down as a veto. But in 1997, it started as an importance for employment and inclusion. And this is the reason why it still today is a overweight of employment and inclusion issues connected to the social economy. Since then, we have had some conferences, yearly conferences on this issue, and there are still yearly conferences on social economy. And we did get a program called Social Business Initiative at 2010, which is replaced by the Social Economy Action Plan in 2021. This is the Commission Social Economy Action Plan. This is something that the EU Commission created in order to promote social economy. On the same time, they created this expert group for GECES, which both me and Anders has been a member of. And in 2023, the council recommendations come. So what is the action plan for social economy? This is actually an action plan. It contains 14 different actions that the Commission wanted the countries to co-design in order to create more favorable circumstances for the social economy. And what they really wanted to do was they looked at the social economy and said that this is a fragmented business. We are promoting it in different ways, but we really need to take a full grasp of it in order to make it more increasingly mainstream. And there are regions around in Europe, like Murcia, Emilia-Romagna, Basque, and Trento, and so on, where these kind of businesses are the norm. And what they saw was that they were more resilient to the financial crisis, to the Corona crisis, to all this type of crisis. They found that these regions were more resilient. And therefore, they want to promote a more sufficient and effective support to get the social economy to thrive and take the impact. So why? Well, this is quite a big sector. It's 2.8 million organizations and entities around Europe, which employs more than 13 million people. So overall, there is 6.3% of the European workforce are employed in the social economy in one way or another. The problem, though, on a European point of view is that it's really different. So countries like Italy, France, and Spain, they have around 10% employed in the social economy, whilst countries like Lithuania or Slovakia have not even 1% of the employment employed in the social economy. So one of the aim was actually to say that we need to have the same preconditions all over Europe in order to get this sector to thrive. The content of the social economy action plan that the Commission laid forward were actually to create better business environment, better opportunities in order to build this capacity on a European level, but also to raise awareness and recognition of the sector, because there is a low knowledge of this sector. So here, I will not go into each and every one of these points, but as you can see, this was the main issue for the social economy action plan put forward from the Commission. And there are 14 different things there. The Council recommendations, the Council, this is the ministers of mainly employment, the ministers of employment. They met in San Sebastian in 2023. And at that time, 19 member states signed the San Sebastian Manifesto on the 14th of November 2023, where the initiative taken by the Spanish presidency and the Council of EU confirmed the support for the social economy, which actually was taken in Paris a year before. And these also were the ground for the Council recommendations for social economy. And from that part, what actually stated in the Council recommendation is that member states are recommended to adopt their social economy strategies within 18 months from the adoption of these recommendations. And we are there now. So therefore, it's quite interesting to see what these countries have done. This is still only recommendations. It's not Council conclusions. So it's open for each and every country to actually do something. There is no harm done if you are not doing anything. But it's also for all EU members are committed to fulfill these EU recommendations, and especially these 19 member states signing the San Sebastian Manifesto, which actually were the starting point from. Today, 17 countries have started or implemented the work with a national strategy. So there are 17 countries that is on the way of creating these strategies. But at the same time, we have several local and regional authorities that has started and established strategies for social economy flourish. And the content of this is basically the same, but there are a little bit more heading towards labor market and inclusion. We want to promote partnership initiatives, the cooperation with labor authorities, startup and scale up of enterprises, competences, social innovation is big part of the Council recommendation, that we need to find favorable legislation and instruments in order to support the social economy within these areas, mainly in order to create a better labor market and inclusion strategies all around Europe. But there are also legal frameworks and regulations. So also look at the law, look at the legal framework. They want to create this high-level group in order to get into the national policy making processes, create better knowledge and competence, look over the state aid regulation and rules, the taxation regulation and rules. Impact measurement is a very important part of this Council recommendations. And last but not least, the visibility and recognition of the sector. And they do have a definition. So for the first time, probably we do have the EU countries actually accepting this definition, saying that social economy is private entities, independent of public authorities, providing goods and services to the member or to the society, and they are composed by cooperatives, mutuals, associations, foundations, and social enterprises. And this is also the first time they put social enterprises in it. But they also say that all of these has to operate in accordance with the primacy of people as well as social or environmental purpose over profit, the reinvestment of most of the profit or surpluses for this aim in order the collective or the general interest. So it can be for the members or for the society. And it should be in democratic and participatory governance. And when they define social enterprises, they say that these may be some kind of other associative form than cooperatives, mutual associations, or foundations. They can be limited companies or whatever, but they are providing goods and services for the market in an entrepreneurial way and in accordance with these principles. So you can't still say that you are a social enterprise if you are not have the primacy of people or social environmental purpose over profit if you're not reinvesting most of that in the interest, and if you're not having democratic or participatory governance in your company. So these are what the council recommendations is saying. So how does it look in Sweden then? Well, we are somewhere in the middle. 4.5% of the employment in Sweden are employed in the social economy. We do have a definition which is really similar to the EU definition, which you can read there. And we do have some good conditions. In Sweden, we have not really started any work for the strategy on a national level, which makes the Commission a little bit thoughtful about where is Sweden heading with this. There is now the Commission is working really hard with the evaluation of what's happening in around Europe regarding the Council recommendations. And as I said, 17 countries has actually started and are on the way to create it, but in Sweden we haven't really started to do this this strategy on a national level. But we do have good conditions. We do have a procurement. The procurement part in Sweden is really favorable for the social economy. We have the enterprise startup and scale up, not least through Coompanion, and the social innovation is pretty much on the national agenda, more or less. But there are also some parts where we really need to put effort in order to get the same preconditions as other companies, and that's knowledge and competence, it's regulation and law, high-level representatives, state aid, research, but maybe and statistics, so the knowledge of the sector, but maybe most and not least the finance, in order to get the right finance at the right time and have the same conditions as other parts. Lately, there is an agreement between the Swedish Employment Agency and Främja, which is the employer organization, and this is the agreement for social economy. And the Swedish Employment Agency is actually referring to the council recommendations when they signed this. So there are things happening on a national level, but they are not that concrete in order to say that we do actually work with a strategy or we try to see how the social economy will fit into different legislations. Furthermore, and that will you hear later on today, is that in different municipalities and regions, there are actually plans for social economy. And around Europe, there are different parts of actually creating regional local action plans, and that you can find a lot of good ideas from different projects, but also from ways of actually cut and paste on how to do local co-creating of local social economy action plans connected to the Commission social economy action plan, but also as a response to the council recommendations. And there are a lot to read. There are a lot of links out there, and you can actually botanize in this how to create social action plans locally and regional for the rest of your life, pretty much. There are a lot of texts out there. So that's basically what I had to say. I hope that was what I was supposed to say. And thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. I think we have some questions. We have one in the chat box about Susanna Kalama asking if we in Sweden count all associations as a part of social economy.
We are not, and neither all foundations, and we are still struggling with all cooperatives, but the cooperatives are, as a definition, a part of the social economy. But all foundations do not fulfill these three elements. And the association, you need to provide services on a market. You need to have an entrepreneurial part of your. You need to create a monetary economy in order to be a part of this. But then, as I said, one of the big challenges we have in Sweden is statistics. Around Europe, you have the satellite accounts, and in Sweden, we have said that we are not following them. So we can't actually understand who is a part of the social economy and who is not. But we have taken away all in this statistics that I showed you. This is something I've made, but I've taken away all the associations that do not have an economic profit for services or products. So you need to sell the market, and you need to have at least one employed. So you have a market. All the other associations is not a part of it. But if you really want to understand it, you have to look into if you actually have the social purpose, if you reinvest the majority of your surplus into that purpose, and if you have a democratic control. And there, a lot of the foundation is not the democratic governance.
But you also have the participant, yeah, what do you call it? Participatory, yeah. So it can be democratic or,
Yeah.
yeah, but okay. And it's the same problem in Finland, Susanna said, it's a comment. Thank you very much, Gordon. Are there any more curious question about this Gordon's talk about social action, action plan for social economy? No one else? Not yet. Not yet. So thank you, Gordon. You can relax. And I am really curious how you got your presentation to be behind you. But we can take that another time. We can have a course about that. So now the floor is yours, Anders, from Örebro. Inspiration, I hope. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will start sharing my screen. See if it works. Just give me a couple of seconds. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Gordon and I usually meet on these kinds of seminars or webinars on a relatively regular basis. So we work on the same topic, but with different angles. So this is my home organization, Region Örebro County. I've been working there for quite some time now. My background is the university. I have a PhD in political science. And coming to the county organization with that background was interesting because it gave me an opportunity to work actively on topics that are of interest for a political scientist. So I've been asked to say a few words about our efforts in developing policies in this area. And we have actually a relatively long history of policies on this topic. The first policy we had on civil society and social economy, it's not only social economy, it's civil society and social economy. Going back to the questions Gordon had and his answers, it's not the same thing, but closely related. So we had the first policy already in 2018, and the current one is running now until the end of this year. And the ambition, the plan, is to revise the current plan into a new one, starting from 2026 and a couple of years onward. So what is important in this case? There are many things that are important, but going back to Gordon's talk, first of all, it's very important to realize that this policy is not a single isolated policy, but instead it's a part of the regional development strategy for our county. It's an action plan related to the regional development strategy. But it has also important links to the national level and national policies, both on the civil society side and also the social economy side. And Gordon was referring to the Swedish definition of social economy from, I think, 1991. That's the only definition of social economy we've had in Sweden on social economy. So this is important, but of equally important is the relation to the European Commission Action Plan for social economy. So we try to clearly relate to the EU level in this regional policy. And it's one way of showing the importance of the policy sector to national and European levels. The goal of the action plan is quite simple and straightforward: strengthen the influence and participation of civil society and social economy in the development of the county. This policy has 4 different focus areas. And each focus area has a number of priority areas of activity, we call it. And the first focus area is this: increase the understanding and the importance of this sector in the development of the county. And here we are saying that it's of vital importance to basically understand the fundamental values and the fundamental roles of this sector, basically. And we are also saying that it's of vital importance to realize civil society and social economy in the development on the local and regional level generally. But it's extremely important to realize the importance that social economy and civil society is of interest and importance in different policy sectors, such as circular economy, business and innovation, the labor market, etc. So civil society and social economy are not two separated, isolated, narrow sectors. It's the opposite. They are relating to a large number of different policy areas in the country and in Sweden, of course. So this is the first focus area. The second one is, we've called it create long-term conditions. The conditions are there are many conditions that are important. In Sweden, we have a long tradition of public grants for traditional NGOs, associations, and this is important, but it needs to be strengthened. There are other forms of financial support and other forms of support functions that are of importance for the development of this sector, and this is something that we need to develop and be better off in the county and also in other parts of Sweden, of course. Social enterprises, Gordon talked about social enterprises, and this is something that we've been working with quite some time. Even though the number of social enterprises in the county is not very high, but this is something that we've included specifically in the policy. Procurement. Gordon talked about procurement, and this is of vital importance. Even though there is a widespread interest in procurement in general in Sweden and in the county, the public sector is perhaps not that very good in procuring products and services from the social economy and the civil society. This is something that we need to develop, and we need to be better off. For example, we also need to focus on what in Sweden is called public-private partnerships. This is sort of a growing interest in many municipalities and many regions. The third area is about meeting places. Now, in this case, we identified 3 ideal or analytically ideal 3 types of meeting places of importance in this case. First of all, for a number of years now, we've had an ongoing discussion in the county on establishing a special forum for civil society organizations and social economy organizations, so they can get together and sort of get wiser together and discuss their relationship with the public sector. We haven't established such a forum yet, but the discussion is going. The second point is about a similar forum for us in the public sector. So 2.5 years ago, we established a network where the county organization is inviting the municipalities in the county, where we talk about the importance of social economy and civil society and the relationship that are of interest for us in the public sector in relation to the social economy and the civil society. The third topic here is cross-sectoral networks and meeting places. And we've had an interesting and relatively successful network since 2015 in the county called the Partnership for Social Innovation. It's a network of 40 organizations from the public sector, the social economy and civil society, and the university, where we meet on a regular basis, very organized, on different topics, and we work together. And we try to, the basic question is how to collaborate and how to do this in practice. So this is something that we've been doing quite a lot during the years. And the fourth area is about internationalization and how to, we are quite good at international participation, but we can do much, much better. And one thing that we need to be better on is to exchange the experience based on the international participation. So now we... Yes. Okay, so now we are in the process of revising the action plan, and we had...
Can you slow down? Oh,
Someone has the mic on. Thank you. So now we are in the process of revising the action plan. We had a political decision early this year saying that the policy needs to be revised, which was very good. And based on that decision, we've had a number of workshops in different groups, and we've compiled a new proposal, which has been anchored at the management group in my organization and with the chief executives in the municipals in the county. So after summer, probably we will send a referral to the municipalities and the different organizations within the civil society and social economy, to the university and other interested organizations, and we will compile their comments and hopefully have a political decision in November 2025 or in February 2026. And yes, there are a number of interesting results and effects that we can talk about related to our policy. And one very simple but extremely important result of our policy is that we've been able to place civil society and social economy on the political agenda in the county. And by doing so, we also can argue that this sector needs to be given a political space and access to the distribution of public funds in the county, which is not always that easy, but yeah. What we've seen during the years, and it's quite evident now, is that the action plan has emphasized the importance of social economy and civil society as important partners in dealing with different societal challenges. And we are actually in a situation where civil society is on sort of speaking terms with the public sector in Sweden in many ways. And the last point, I don't know if that's of interest, but we always talk about the regional innovation system and how to organize it. And by using our policy, we have sort of provoked the established notion of how to establish and how to build up a regional innovation system. And this is interesting because our regional innovation system is very traditional, but I see that there are interesting aspects coming up in the development of the regional innovation system in the county. So that was just some results and effects of the action plan, and I'm happy to take all your questions.
Yeah,
if there are any.
Yeah, we have some time for questions. I have the first one, I think. Has this regional action plan led to any municipalities, smaller action plans in your county?
No, I don't think so. But we are engaging municipalities in different actions based on the regional policy. And we are using the policy in different ways on a very practical level, both in relation to the municipalities and in relation to different civil society organizations.
Yeah, feel free to ask Anders some questions. It was clear as crystal. It was nothing to you. You covered everything. So
perfect, fantastic.
So thank you. Will you send us the presentation? No, Emily from Region Jämtland. You have a question.
Yes, sorry, I was struggling to find the hand. I'm not used to Zoom. Thank you, Anders. I was wondering regarding the innovation policies that you mentioned in that work. Would you prefer to have like the social innovation part integrated in the regional policy, or do you prefer to have them separate like you do now?
I would like to have them included and integrated. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Some more questions? Otherwise, we thank you, Anders, for this nice presentation and that you wanted to participate in this learning project. So with that, we are going to a municipality. We're traveling to Nordanstig's municipality and say welcome and give the floor to Bente Sandström. You can present yourself.
Thank you. I will.
Welcome. And I am going to present your presentation when you say to me that it's time.
Well, it's time. Let's go. And we can go to slide 2. Nu är det inte presentations... Där ja, precis. So, hello, my name is Bente Sandström and I'm head of the unit in the Municipality of Nordanstig for labor market, unemployment, refugee reception and social benefits. The municipality Nordanstig is located in the middle of Sweden along the east coast, as you can see on the map on the right side. We have about 9,250 inhabitants and it's sadly decreasing, but that's the development just now. We are a part of the county Gävleborg that has a high unemployment rate, but it varies greatly within the county. In that case, Nordanstig has a relatively low unemployment, thankfully for us. My unit are one part of the social service in our municipality. We have 2 other units that handle the other parts, such as childcare, substance abuse, and other adult support. I've been working with this for a long time and have been responsible for these issues since 2003, approximately. Well, as you know, the labor markets policy is state-owned in Sweden, but since the municipalities are responsible for the social benefits, we also have an interest in people becoming financially self-sufficient as soon as possible. So we also take steps for those people who are in need of support. Så kan vi byta bild. I would go into my unit's area of responsibility a little more. We work for unemployed persons. If they are not in school, we are supporting people from 16 years old and up. We have, as I said, the refugee reception and people who are lacking financial self-sufficiency. Also, we have the social benefits. The goal for us is to get people into work or study or take benefits from other social insurance system. So who are we for and how do we support them? People we meet are without their own means of support, unemployed, far from the labor market, and in need of support to live an independent life. They have often little financial resources. They often have a high level of exclusion, low educational levels, and many have varying degrees of mental illness. The need for support is often great and is characterized by personal support, motivation, guidance in society, and especially in contact with healthcare. We need a high degree of collaboration with the authorities in that person's life. This could be support and help that we coordinate with from healthcare, then the Swedish Employment Service or other agencies that are in the society for these people. Those we work for are furthest far from the labor market, and that is the target group that we meet and support. Those who are more job ready receive support from the public employment service. I know that is different between the countries in this project, so it could be cleared. Kan vi byta? In the means of this project and the policy question, we have had a policy for a few years now, but I believe in our context that my colleagues' commitment is the most important thing. You have to be dedicated to get this to work with the social enterprises. So the policy, we did first and wrote the policy after, just because. And it's a copy from another municipality that I thought was a good one. So I would talk a little bit now how we do it, how we support the social entrepreneurship and the social part of this. I see it in two ways, from the person's needs and for the company's needs, and it all hangs together. So if we look at them, in a person's need, as a way of working to support people's path to work, we use social enterprises through, as Anders talked about, public procurement. We buy places for work training and even employment for some time when we see that is the best effort for the person. We have 3 companies today to choose from. They are located in 3 different places and have 3 different focus that we can choose from in the best interest from the person. We have worked in this way for several years now, since 2010-ish. But the most common thing in municipalities in Sweden is that is the way they have their own businesses for this need, and not like we, that we don't have that at all, and all is procured. We do not and think this is the best way for us. It gives us more help to choose from, it's cheaper for us, and I avoid work environmental responsibility and can set different demands and expectations than if it were in my own business. If we look at the company's needs, the municipality also purchase services from our local enterprises, social enterprises, for various needs. It can include moving things, cleaning out apartments, equipping apartments for refugee reception, building birdhouses that we put up in the nature, cleaning municipal beaches and cleaning invasive plant species, This is just an example. The imagination sets the limit here. We had an adopted policy document, as I said, for some time, but it is a long-term job to get this working method implemented and remediate the municipality operations that purchase service that are non-individual related. It needs, as I say, great minds think alike in a large measure, so we can do this together. Well, this creates the more sustainable financial foundation for the company, as if we do it in both ways, in the both perspectives, and both needs, as well as creating tasks that the people we place there can take part in and be a part of in the further perspective. We do not provide any contribution at all, but purchase service on a par with what we do from other companies. Companies also have better and other customers to whom they sell their services. These can be private individuals or other companies as well. So it all hangs together. By strengthening the social economy and social enterprises, we create a broadened labor market for those people that we meet, and that also increase range of service that benefits for our local community. If we have a social enterprise who, for example, had a car wash, so we have a car wash in my hometown that I can use as well. Otherwise, we don't have it. So in the small municipality, this is very important, I think. So my time is up, Susanne.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Bente? I think
10 minutes, short time.
Yeah, we have a short time, but I think the example of Nordanstig's municipality is well known all over Sweden, because a lot of municipalities take care of the work training arenas themselves, and that is maybe a very large portion of the municipality's tasks. You
That's the most common thing.
done it the other way, and you take care of the work, the training, and procure the social enterprises, and then they can sell to private sector as well, and they can employ more people. Is that, yeah?
Yes, Nordanstig has very few enterprises with a lot of employees. I think we have 10 enterprises with more than 10 employed, and 2 of the social enterprises have about 7, so they are relatively big in our municipality. That's so fun. I'm so glad.
Are there any questions? I know that you are on a conference now, so you taken, and we're happy that you did for a while. So we could borrow you, and thank you very much. So no questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And now I leave the floor to Pelle, because you have something to say to the audience.
Yeah, we thought we would use the opportunity to have some kind of national reflection about the presentation and the situation in our own countries. So I put in the we'll have, let me see, I'm the wrong plan went wrong. We're having a question prepared. How can social economy policy improvement be done in my region or country, or is it already there? And you will be able to choose your room, choose your country, and I know one person that not have a country here. David, you can choose what country you want here. And I will send the question. And 15 minutes, then we'll be back again. So yeah.
Yes, we were I'm from Lapland. My name is Eva Erkinti, work for University of Lapland, and then Susanna is from more south. So we were kind of like discussing the Finnish, how we are doing in different regions and kind of like updating. So we weren't focusing on the question. We both learned so much from the Swedish part. Maybe Susanna, you want to also say a few words?
Well, yes, we were just kind of, in a way, discussing something especially about Lapland and that area. But in Finland, we, as you might know, we are now in process of making social economy and social enterprises strategy. We are updating it in the national level. So we just like last Friday, as we have this Center of Expertise for Social Enterprises in Finland. So we have been kind of the workforce for the ministry, and we have done back research and involving a lot of different kind of people and the work. And now we have kind of last Friday we gave our paper, like kind of what we think and what the people in social economy think that should be included in the strategy. So now it's that the work is in the ministry, and they go on with that, and we'll see what. But we'll see what happens. But they have promised, and the target in a way is that the update will be ready by the end of this year.
Yeah, and that's a national strategy.
It's a national strategy, yes. And then we just talked with Eva that we do not know that there is any regional strategies at the moment. Lapland is, updating their strategy at the moment.
Yes, we've been or Lapland is upgrading. We have the Lapland agreement, that is the strategy paper for the upcoming years for the region, and we have quite many projects working around social economy and social enterprises. So together we collected some information and handed out a paper that we wish could be part of the Lapland agreement. So we've been doing a lot of work with the different projects to actually have more kind of support for social enterprises here in Lapland. So trying really hard. I think we will need it. I see David Briani's online, and we were talking yesterday to Scotland, so we're going there to learn more. So, but yes, currently we are trying to get it to regional kind of agreements, strategies.
Yes, and I think we have, because in Center of Expertise we have kind of in all the areas we have someone working there with the social economy. So we are gathering the information at the moment, but I would guess that Lapland is one of the best, and then maybe I have two other regions in Finland that are more interested in this subject.
Thank you.
But not in strategy level.
I think we have to go. I choose to call Iceland to the stand. What did you talk about? Iceland, yeah.
Yeah. So to begin with, we talked about the public procurement, and that is not existing in our. There are no plans for that here, and how that would be really benefiting social enterprises in the region of the Westfjords and in Iceland in general. And then we were talking about the co-ops in Iceland. We do have like co-ops, and we have a history of co-ops, but it seems to be almost impossible now to start a co-op, just as a business form. And we were going to look into that. And also regarding, we are now for the Westfjords making the first regional plan. So we've not had a regional plan like for the region in total. And just to have there in the innovation chapter, social innovation, we're just working so much like ground level just to raise awareness. And also for the Regional Development Fund, just to add that into the plan of the fund. That's already, we are taking those small steps.
Thank you very much, Iceland. And so we address Finland. No, we did Finland, Ireland. Oh my God, Ireland. I'm sorry. Ireland, welcome to the floor. Take the floor, is yours. And I think David Bryan was, so Ireland and a little bit of David as well.
Yeah, it was just myself and Scotland initially, Suzanne, but then the rest of our Irish colleagues joined and we talked about the differences between Scotland and Ireland and how, on the one hand, Ireland looks somewhat enviably at Scotland and Scotland does the same with regard to Ireland. But we definitely need to improve conditions for social enterprise in Ireland, and that was acknowledged by all the Irish participants on the call. And then you cut it short. I apologize for having no camera, Suzanne. It's not working for some reason this morning.
I'm sorry for everybody else. I already know how you look like, but yeah. Is that, I think you were a lot of more people in the group of Ireland. Do you recognize what Mikael said about how the discussion went?
Yes, I can add to that. I think what Ireland does extremely well is that the Irish local authorities are able to make finance available for cooperatives to employ people who are far from the labour market without necessarily time limits and without a lot of what we call red tape, rules and regulations that constrict or constrain what might happen, which is tremendous for the community and it's tremendous for the individuals and it's tremendous for the cooperatives. And that sort of thing doesn't happen in Scotland. Placements are far too short, and actually the benefits are not really accrued to anybody in particular. So that's, I think, what Ireland does extremely well. And we were just also talking about asset-based approaches to social enterprise, which is, I think, probably what Scotland does really well.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, Norway, but you were alone in a room, but then you decided to join the Swedish group, I think. So I leave the floor to Sweden, Norway now, if Ireland feels that Ireland is done.
We do.
We do.
Thank you.
You do. Thank you very much. And please take the floor, Sweden and Norway. Sverige, Norge. What did you talk about in the Swedish Norwegian group?
Everyone is quiet and I missed the first part. But we had a discussion of the importance of having in the regional strategies and programs that the social economy, social innovation, social entrepreneurship are mentioned and included. And then it's valuable to them to have local action plans, more detailed plans for how to support the development of the social economy. That was what I think I heard or wanted to hear maybe, but I think I heard. I think Amelie and Anders and Jon and Jessica can contribute more, and Cecilia and Yvonne. So, and Kerstin.
Everybody agrees on what you said, and this webinar was about to inspire and lift this question about policies, strategies. And would you say that anyone? I just throw out the question here. If has it been valuable, or would you like to have the different policies written and maybe inspire more and learn more from each other? What do you think? Now Amelie is nodding. I feel that feels very nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Very inspiring. And I think for me, it also confirmed what I was already thinking about integrating certain value words or certain things into already existing policies. So definitely.
Yeah, and we have to tell everybody that you're in the strategic part of Region Jämtland Härjedalen. So you are a policymaker, strategic. Yeah, so that's good to know. So something will happen. Yeah, and now I would like to ask, really humbly. I know because you're not prepared for this, Yvonne. But Yvonne, you're the project manager and the head of MERSE project. What do you think if you summarize this webinar?
I think that policy making is very scattered around these regions and the countries and also municipalities. But I think it's a long-term work. And you have to, we have visited Örebro and Anders before, and I know that they have been working for a long time, and it's important to get people on and do practically. I know that you had in Örebro sort of house wagon. You went around to collect social innovations or ideas and so out in, in the area of the region and to gather also the interest. So I think it's a long-term work that you have to put in. But I also think, as was mentioned before, that we have to put forward statistics for public authorities to realize that this is important businesses. You brought up from Coompanion in the beginning that I couldn't see any limited companies, but I know that there also are limited companies that are social enterprises. So I mean, we have to also to identify, I think, in a better way than we do today, or at least in Sweden, but also elsewhere, I think. In the project MERSE, one of the objectives is to also give some advices for policy making in regions and in local communities, for local communities. So I really think that, as you said, Susanne, to collect good examples on policies, existing policies now in this formative time. I mean, Anders and also the first talked about this formative time for social economy and social entrepreneurship and social enterprising. So I think that's, so please bring it on. And we have a website for MERSE that we are also going to publish good examples and so on. So I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so thank you, Yvonne. This project is very fun to work in because we are so different and similar at the same time. And one of the obstacles we have is the time difference. Because now it's about 12 o'clock in Sweden, and in Finland it's about 1, I think. And in Iceland, what time is it now in Iceland?
Almost 10.
almost 10, you see. But we still have the ability to meet and discuss these topics and learn from each other. And I hope you all will come to more webinars, because there are going to be more. And we will invite you all for that. And please spread the news in your own areas and networks. Someone else wants to say something? Otherwise, we're a little bit early, but you never know. Please.
I just want to ask if the slides will be available afterwards.
Yes, I think I asked you, Anders, if we can get the slides, your slide.
I will send them directly to you.
Yes, thank you. And yes, definitely. And we will force Gordon to share his. So we have him in our pockets. Yeah.
Susanne, I just share the address to our website. And as you said, we're going to have more webinars this year, and we are going to announce them or publish them on the website. And you can also register through the website. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, well, have a nice lunch or breakfast or wherever you are. So all of you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely to see
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.